And there we go again, game number 2. My name is HeflaTV, casting with me is our new caster here, Michael. Some of you might already know him. He used to cast AD2L and of course a lot of jDL games. Game number 1, pretty one-sided actually, if I really think about it, especially that Witch Dog. Like, I think if we would look up the stats on this game, he was absolutely top on hero damage. Like, this was just nuts. And I don't know, the Ember, he got quite some farm together, especially after the triple kill in the mid, which was the little dent in the graph, as I already mentioned at the end. But to be honest, like, his moves, he suicided pretty much just for one kill, and just instead of just, I don't know, playing safe and trying to keep them away, not letting them the high crown. It didn't work either way. Game number 2, new chance. Let's go.
Yeah, I think probably the final error that costed Kawaii that game was going back to that Batrider where he should have spotted the Roshan, but was like 3 pixels too far away or something like that. That Aegis gave SRT not only, well, just the Aegis advantage, but also the confidence to say, okay, we could probably take an even fight if we just go for it. And they got the tier 2 tower trade, but instantly into the Raxes straight after. If they didn't have the Aegis, I want to say that SRT probably would have been a little bit more cautious in pushing down that bottom lane, but they messed up just a little bit, and you can't say that it all came down to that. The Witch Doctor ultimate was always huge, even though they had many ways of canceling it. The Witch Doctor always found a way to get it down at the right time and should do a lot of damage. So hopefully this game is going to not be as one-sided as, wow, okay, Witch Doctor, Treant Protector. I think I've seen this game before.
Yep, this is a bit deja vu at the moment. The Witch Dog coming out again. And also the Treant Protector, like, I'm still not a fan of Treant Protector, but at least there he had the small advantage of a Treant Protector was there. Like, that slow at the start and the boots on the Treant Protector with the heavy right clicks. It worked out, it got them the first blood, and then somehow Kawaii's, I don't know, safe lane wasn't safe at all anymore, plus they didn't get any farm there. It even ended up, I don't know, 4 or 5 kills were done in that safe lane, and then the tier 1 tower was even the first to fall. That was the good start for the Treant Protector there, and yeah, then, I don't know, if I think about it, from there on he was pretty much just responsible for the sustain. Like, some heal coming out of Leech Seed, and of course the living armor, but he never had to protect any towers whatsoever. So therefore we didn't even see the full potential of a Treant Protector, as in like defending certain towers and stuff like that. So it still worked out for them, because especially the Witch Dog was rocking the show.
Yeah, I think it all just comes back to the early game aggression. They shut down that 3v2 lane as you would normally expect from a 3v2 lane, especially when that 2 lane is consisting of a Shadow Shaman and a Skywrath. Nothing that Kawaii could really do about that. They didn't have the type of heroes that could combat such an aggressive lane from SRT with that early pick of the Treant. So he got that, and then later on, a couple of Overgrowth Death Wards, adding a little bit more damage, but we're going to be seeing a lot more big AoE teamfight. You mentioned last draft that all those big teamfight skills were knocked out. Tidehunter, Witch Doctor, Treant, all with their respective big teamfight ultimates, and they're going to be going up against a Faceless Void. So they have one tool, Kawaii, so far, to stop the Death Ward channel of the Witch Doctor in that Chronosphere/Bash.
Yep, absolutely. Like, usually we see the Void and the Witch Dog together, and I love this combination. It's an awesome synergy, but this way it works out just as well. The funny part about the Death Ward is if the Witch Dog is not in the Chronosphere himself, the Death Ward actually can be used to drive out the Void out of his own sphere, because if that thing is channeling, you don't want to stand in there. But talking about setup for the Death Ward, we only have an Overgrowth at the moment. The Ravage, of course, is the ultimate to be preferred, I guess, because it's the stun plus the whole animation, which is part of it, and all that time the Death Ward can really do work. So if the execution is good, the Witch Dog should again be able to get some nice channels off here.
I think aside from those giant team fights, which is great in synergizing with the Death Ward, just having bodies on the front lines is also going to be really huge. Now, Kawaii, they do have Faceless Void, so they can jump behind the Tide, behind the Treant Protector, and get to that Witch Doctor, but anyone else on Kawaii, they have to go through the Tide and Treant, and that's something you really don't want to be doing, especially with the threat of Ravage and Overgrowth on the field to get to that Witch Doctor. And now I think Kawaii, they should be scared of this Witch Doctor, seeing as though he pretty much wrecked them in the last game. So they're going to want to place a very high priority on killing off that Witch Doctor. Earthshaker is a good hero to have that happen once he gets his Blink Dagger, But Witch Doctors, if he gets another body placed in front of him through another tanky mid lane hero or something like that, then he's going to be in really good shape.
And the Earthshaker we just saw there, this is something to definitely, I don't know, ruin the day of the Witchdog. If the Earthshaker is still somehow not occupied or the Fissure is not on cooldown, like he should be able to get the Witchdog. So I definitely like this one. I absolutely like this pick. It's not like necessarily a counter pick to Witchdog, but considering they want to go again for this Witchdog and just creating space for him so he gets his Death Ward through, then a Fissure is definitely the way to go.
And a Tinker is going to be the fourth pick from SRT. I don't think Tinker was even touched in the last game, so this game going to be flowing a little bit differently as SRT. They only need to pick up their final primary farming hero. Depending on how aggressive they want to be, they could go for something like a Luna. Wouldn't be too bad here. Get that Eclipse as even more magic damage, a little bit more team fight. Wouldn't be a terrible pickup, but Tinker is at this point so far doesn't really have a good answer from Kawaii. Faceless Void is actually pretty good, so maybe not. Tinker versus Faceless Void. Once Faceless Void is willing to drop a Chronosphere on a Tinker, try to lock him down, then you can get kills on that hero, but again, he'll be fighting into big team fight ultimates. Tinker is a hero like the Witch Doctor, heavily benefits from having heavy bodies in front of him in the Titan Treant.
Yep, absolutely. Like the Tinker is now something I like, because right now I actually thought SRT, it's gonna be risky if you really just rely on the fact that you have a Witchdog here, because he got so much farm last game, I don't think he can replicate this. So you needed something heavy, and Tinker is definitely a good option. Then again, a Faceless Void is something that is also, yeah, maybe ruining Tinker's day here, because with a Time Walk you might find him, with the Chrono you might find him as well somewhere in the trees, and you can just Time Walk in, and that's it with the Tinker. Let's see. Like the Chrono is the biggest fear of SRT at the moment, I think, because if the Tidehunter, for example, is getting taken down, or Witchdog or Tidehunter both at the same time in the Chrono, and they get the Tidehunter down, and then the follow up on Witchdog, this pretty much ruins SRT's team fight. So we have to see. It all comes down to how good is the Chrono, to be honest.
Yeah, and there's really nothing you could do about that unless you have a really, really fast stun, which is currently not available for SRT aside from a potential Hex on the Tinker. But the Wind Ranger pickup from Kawaii, I think this is going to be a support Wind Ranger. Another hero to try to get to the back end of the SRT side. Shackles and Power Shots, especially the Power Shots for scouting out. A Tinker may or may not be relevant moving forward in this game. She also can be played as an offlane hero, which we don't see that often, but Wind Ranger versus Tidehunter is not the worst lane for Wind Ranger.
Yep, absolutely. It's I don't know. I don't know what I have to. I don't know. I'm speechless about the Wind Ranger. I didn't see this one coming at all. Some teams actually try to get this hero more and more again back to the meta, but the Wind Runners and Wind Rangers, like, oh, I hate it, by the way. The fact that I started to say Wind Ranger, like, I refused to say it at the start, and for some month it was fine, but now it actually got me. Like reading the name.
I've been calling her Wind Ranger for like the past couple of months as a joke, and now I can't stop.
Yeah, that's even worse, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like now I really I'm to Wind Ranger, and it sucks really, because the name sucks. Like this Blizzard forcing Valve into changing this name, it's just hilarious, especially since the ability is still called Windrun. Like I was also joking, like, I mean, now that it's Wind Ranger, they also should rename the ability Wind Range, but well, that also wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's a hero that has had her ups and downs in the competitive scene. I think in this scenario, it's mostly because they want to have someone who could potentially pick up an Orchid. They probably should not be laning the Wind Ranger as support. They probably should be trying to prepare for a Wind Ranger versus a Tidehunter lane, where Wind Ranger will not be able to kill a Tidehunter, will have a lot of difficulty in doing so. But she'll be able to last it decently. She won't have to worry about any anchor smashes. And, well, there's another hero that's had a recent name change. The Skeleton King is going to be picked up from SRT as their last. He's going to be farming this the lane wherever he does go to. And it's another stun for the SRT side.
Yep, that's also another stun they can use, of course, for the Witchdog setup. And it's also a hero that definitely can go late game. like, which is quite a nuisance, especially if you commit a lot of things to him. Like, I don't know, a Wraith King focus in the chrono, not the best idea because he's just coming back. Then the Earthshakers is pretty much the same, opening on him only with Echo Slam or committing something like that to him, not the best. But talking about counters of a Wraith King, Anti-Mage is coming. I mean, he's at the moment I don't know if I like this, to be honest, because by the time the Anti-Mage is joining the fight, the entire game, the Wraith King has quite a decent mana pool, and even to drain him like instantly, so he can't use, I don't know, maybe a Soaring, maybe Stick, whatsoever. By that time he needs a Manta, and that is at least 15, 20, 25 minutes into the game if he's getting shut down a bit here and there. So, okay, like, we are preparing for a very long game or very short game, that kinda depends. This is gonna be Utility Void and a farming Anti-Mage. Or no, is it? No, wait, what? How did they lane this? Look at it. Looks like Try with a Void and the AM alone. Okay.
Okay, here's the thinking. Here it is. It's that Faceless Void always solos the off lane, and he has Time Walk to help him survive, and Anti-Mage has Blink, so he could do the same exact thing. Huh? I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Kawaii are thinking right now. Maybe?
Maybe.
He's not gonna have a good time up here, this Anti-Mage.
Maybe it's some sort of psych games, you know, who's who's on what lane. But either way, we're gonna introduce the teams really fast for all those guys that just joined here the channel. Welcome on HeflaTV 1. My name is HeflaMo, casting with Michael Loris, and this is Team Kawaii here. We have the Anti-Mage played by Supercell. In the mid, we're gonna find Jollies playing the Racer. Then, of course, 137 on the Earthshaker. Sai playing the Wind Runner. And June on the Faceless Void.
Alright, on the SRT side, we have Young Okage playing the off-lane Tide. Going to be going 1v3 in a lane that's not going to be the most of fun for him. Treant Protector going to be handled by We Just Zik once again. Android is on the Witch Doctor, also supporting up top lane. Wraith King, or Skeleton King as he was formerly known, is going to be played by Dota Stock. Will be farming top as Young Okage will be fissured out from his escape route. CY has a double damage rune in the bottom lane. Can they get the kill on the Tide? He needs a Shackle Shot, but actually Wind Run has been picked up at level 1. That'll do absolutely nothing.
They really
Young Okage
wanted
gets to walk away.
They really wanted this, but yeah, like with the living armor out there, there was no chance whatsoever. But of course, I mean, those two are anyway roaming support, so why not just stealing, you know, the time of the Tide Hunter? It should be all fine. But oh, what are they doing? Like Windrunner just showing up in the mid, but eating 2 tower hits just because he was. Oh my god! I missed.
The tangos are too heavy. She wants to get rid of some of them, so she's gonna take a dip in the tower. But yeah, I think if they had a Shackle Shot, they had a chance of killing off that Tide Hunter. But the Wind Run literally did nothing. She got blocked by her ally. She couldn't get close enough for the slow, and they were forced to let that one go. Last but not least, on the SRT side, didn't mention Sunlight. He is going to be playing the mid lane Tinker. 1-point missile, 1-point laser. Pretty standard stuff so far. Going up against a Razor is not a terrible lane for a Tinker. He will be able to function pretty normally, though he is vulnerable to death, so he's not going to be sitting pretty on this lane for 100% of the time.
Yep, absolutely. And well, sorry for the overlay fuck up, like around till 50 seconds. I still had the draft overlay, so yeah, that was quite a nice view for everybody. I'm sorry about that, but my hotkeys are fucked up again. Either way, in the mid, like, who do you think is coming out as a winner? Like, without rotations, that is. Like, I mean, the rotations are obviously more aggressive by Kawaii. We saw that already, that the Earthshaker and the Windrunner, they want to go for rotations. But I think by default, the Tinker at the moment doing quite fine. And it all comes down to, is the Razor getting a nice static link off? And then March of Machines apparently not coming out. It looks like we have a Combat Tinker build coming up, which is quite interesting.
I'm a big fan of it, not because I think it's great or anything, but because I just think it's really amusing to watch. Being able to nuke down people is really, really fun, like the Earthshaker, who is currently sitting in the mid lane, possibly going to look for initiation onto Sunlight. In the meantime, the Ancients of the Dire side, there's a little bit of a Sentry Ward battle going on there. I don't know how these 2 Sentry Wards are managing to coexist, but somehow it is working out. Young Hokage is level 1, and he's not going to get much experience in this lane if CY on the Wind Ranger keeps on sitting on him on this lane. But at the same time, Supercell, he's level 2 on this Anti-Mage. He has 1-point Spell Shield, 1-point Blink, There's a good amount of magical damage on this side. Never mind, there's a lot of physical damage. So Supercell is not going to be getting the best of times either. The difference between Anti-Mage and Faceless Void on this off lane, I think I mean, having level 6 for Anti-Mage is nice. Mana Void is a fun enough skill, but Chronosphere is so independent on everything else that I think this might just be a laning mistake from Kawaii.
Yep, absolutely. And why is this pause actually coming out? Like, just asking for a sec. I was just curious because I didn't see anything in chat, but no, it's not a puppy pause. There's no weird situation anywhere, so that's definitely not the reason. Seems like, I don't know, some real life stuff going on. Like, by the way, the warding is not too interesting, or actually it is interesting when we look at the Ancients, because there we have two sentry wards next to each other, and this one is actually blocking the Ancients, and the other one too. They try to find each other, but there's nothing he can eat through, like the trees, like at least sufficient enough, because he only has 3 tangos, and then he has to guess where's the ward. It could be on the right side, it could be on the left side. That one is actually hard to get.
Yeah, this Ancient camp as well as the Radiant Pole camp, 2 camps that are notoriously difficult to de-ward. If you spend a sentry ward in the wrong place or spend too many tangos, then it could really set you back in a big way. So Tide is going to have to resign himself for now at just getting absolutely nothing, although he's going in for it. He's not going to find it just yet.
No, he actually found it.
Oh,
like,
he did?
2 tangos were needed, but still, he's finding it, so that's okay. Still, now that they know he de-warded, they might as well just place a new one, or he won't get to stack it. Let's see. I mean, the Titan, I don't think he's gonna be able to actually farm a huge stack here without getting, I don't know, interrupted by either the Earthshaker or the Windrunner, or both in combination.
I was just about to say that the stack would have been primarily for the Tidehunter, though. Tinker is actually going to go for level 4 March of the Machines as his skill choice, so maybe just level 2 Laser because he wants to protect himself from Static Link and punish Razor. I don't really know. This build is a little bit out of the ordinary, but in the meantime, Supercell on top side, he's going to try to find any sort of hole that he could hide himself in just to keep himself safe, but on the bottom lane, Yongokage once again going to be trapped up by a Fissure. There's no follow-up. Level 1 Wind Ranger. Time Walk in from June. Let's see if he's lucky on those bashes. Living Armor. Well, there's one bash on Tidehunter. He does have a Kraken Shell, so he can't reduce the damage here. Needs another bash.
There's another Fissure. Exactly now. The mana is done, and he's perfectly blocked in. That's our first blood. That Void is actually getting it. Like, nice. The patience there and the clarity on the Earthshaker. Some bashes and nice body blocking. That's how you get the first blood here. Nice one.
That's a 3 for 3 for the Earthshaker. Had 3 perfect fissures in this game, so he's off to a pretty good start. He almost has boots. In a couple seconds, he will be able to pick that one up. However, the lane getting a little bit away from Kawaii. Yongokage is going to get his level 3 off of this almost certainly. And now that he has his Anchor Smash, the aggression that Kawaii could put onto this Tidehunter is significantly reduced. Time Lock is going to be Faceless Void's main source of damage, seeing as though he's going to get hit with a big minus 60 damage percent. When he tries to go in for this Tidehunter. But it looks like they might be going again. Yes. Anchor Smash, not in time, and Kawhi's going to get 1 bash and a power shot plus Fissure. There's the Anchor Smash, and June suddenly is going to struggle a little bit more to get this. He's going to take a couple of tier 2 tower shots. He's dropping very low, though does have a salve as well as a tango. He's going to be forced to go into tier 1, double TP's in. It's going to be Android throwing off the cast onto June. Power shot will secure the kill onto the Tidehunter. That's about it. Wraith King making a rotation as well. Wouldn't really expect this to happen. This real core farmer of the SRT side moving down for what he thought was a secured kill.
But I mean, they get the kill on the Void, and this also means the Anti-Mage is getting the first time in this game a CS. Because till right now, he was 0 and 0. Like, didn't get anything on that lane just because it was too scary. Now the Dream Protector actually trading some hits, but he knows, okay, I'm hitting for quite a lot. So, but he lost all his mana for it. Oh no, actually no, he did not. Not having a point in mana break. This was just a mana cast or used with the Living Armor. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, Treant Protector trying to leverage the fact that he has a lot of base damage in order to bully the Anti-Mage out of lane, but Anti-Mage isn't going to put up with that. He's going to blink forward for this Treant Protector. Level 3 Anti-Mage versus level 3 Treant Protector. That is going to be a slow kill if any happens on that lane. So Anti-Mage going to just get a couple of CS, which is going to be most welcome for him, though now that the Witch Doctor is in this lane, Supercell is not going to have the best of times. Once again, the struggle continues for him, and the struggle will get even more intense as Wraith King is also going up towards the top lane.
Yeah, like, I don't know, they should have at least tried to get one version straight. So one is saying the router is needs to be restarted, and the other one is saying Skype bugs. So what is it? A bugged Skype or like based on the router? Either way, like what I'm wondering about this game is that Kawaii, how did they want to get this anti-match through? I mean, an anti-match with 3 CS 5 minutes into the game, being on this lane. Now that the Witch Dog is back, there's going to be that range harass all the time. Finally, he got that 1 point in mana break. Like, I didn't really like the fact that he put 1 in spell shield, because you saw that he was able to trade here and there some right clicks. The Trine, for example, he would not have been able to cast anything, not a Leech Seed, not a Living Armor, if there was a mana break. But it doesn't really matter. He's gonna get that point right now in, but still, he's just not getting any farm. That's the biggest problem. He's just not getting any farm whatsoever at the moment.
I want to say most of what's going on with this anti-mage up top is what SRT did in the last game, where they laned a very aggressive lane. They being Kawaii, expected there to be 3 heroes on the bottom lane, and then it would be a 3v3 lane. It would be a lot of fighting, and that's something that they would have been a little bit more okay with. In that scenario, anti-mage would have been going up against a Tidehunter, which isn't the best lane for anti-mage, though with mana break he can trade relatively well and secure some farm. So I think that's probably the thought process behind laning the anti-mage up top solo. But obviously not working out for them. They take the risk, and they're not making any switches. So, I mean, they're getting pretty heavily punished by this pretty risky decision.
Yep, absolutely. 6 minutes into the game, and as I said, we have to work, I don't know, on a solution of this anti-mage. That's something they have to come up with. At the moment, he can't even go jungle because he doesn't have sufficient regen. And the only thing he has is 200 gold out of this lane plus the experience. So I don't know if they're gonna go for some sort of swap of the cores, which means the Void, now that he's level 6 and gets a Morbid Mask maybe, that he's going in any other lane, or maybe that he's going trying to find something with the Chrono and then a bit jungling, and the anti-mage is taken over that lane. That would be something I could imagine. Everything else doesn't make any sense to me. Like, but right now in the mid we see the Tinker. He has bottle, I think. Yeah, the courier is really slow. That's actually a full bottle flying back to the fountain. That's also interesting. But yeah, he's gonna start soon the jungle farming, and he's starting pretty much right now. Every single gold coin he's gonna get is for his BOTs. 200 it is right now, and at the double spot here he's gonna. Unfortunately, he's a bit off with the timing, which I don't like, because if he would have been earlier there, 3 seconds earlier, he could have stacked those 2 camps even once more with March of the Machines, and then with the with the soaring, he would have been able to like just farm them completely. But oh, top, that was just a stun, some harass, even a crit on the Earthshaker.
They have made that lane switch that you were talking about. Anti-mage has gone down to the bottom lane CY and still sticking around as the Earthshaker going to go up top and get himself killed.
Whoa.
Just a cast being thrown and a Wraithfire Blast. Earthshaker all alone, level 4. Not really what you want to do. June has kind of been wandering around the topside river for the past 30 seconds to a minute. He's looking for a rune, looking for a Chronosphere opportunity before he goes up to that top lane, but he's stalled for a lot of time. That's time that he's not getting back. So he's now going to go up to the top lane, but he's level 6 versus level 7 Wraith King. Faceless Void getting a kill in this lane is going to be almost impossible if they don't have a whole bunch of chain stun, and even then, I don't think they have enough. I don't think they have what it takes to call for Wraith King twice.
Yeah, to be honest, like I almost missed that kill because I don't know. In my understanding of the game, I was like, oh, okay, he just got stunned up, and the Witch Dog didn't make it for the cask, you know. So I was like, okay, everything's fine. He's going behind the tower, maybe just casting the Fisher, pulling the creep wave, but he was again going towards them with no chance whatsoever to escape, because being on 50% HP, like just waiting for the Wraithfire Blast and a cast to follow up, or the other way around, plus of course the right clicks of both heroes and a creep wave, that was not a smart move to go in front of that tower. But maybe it's explained by what the anti-mage just wrote. Something's horribly wrong. So we have reason number 1, router, reason number 2, Skype, and the horror is number 3 now. So we have 3 different reasons why we are pausing. Let's see what comes up next.
Fire.
What?
The classic. My house is on fire. Gotta go, guys.
Yeah, I know. My cat ate the router or something like that. The postman just rang. Door. What else is there? Not much.
We accidentally picked anti-mage in this game. We didn't mean to.
But it's a huge problem, of course, on the anti-mage. Like, if he's actually lagging this game, I mean, we're 8 minutes in, and I'm wondering when SRT is starting to get online. I mean, first of all, they're interested, of course, in the Tinker getting the farm, and the Tinker with the Soul Ring, he could theoretically go right now for this massive golem stacks. Look, just these the rumble hides, like only there, but buried under a lot of rubble, like all golems. Look at this. This is triple golems, if I'm not mistaken. No, wait, is that triple?
This is a quad stack, I believe.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, they're
there's
so
two granites
staggered.
and there's two big lizards. So yeah, that's a quad stack, which either Tidehunter or Tinker can pick up. Tinker farming pretty well in his own jungle. He's still quite a ways away from the Boots of Travel, but after securing this stack, that will almost certainly secure him that item. And then once that happens, the pressure will be applied to Kawaii, where the anti-mage is going to be pretty much helpless.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only good thing I see at the moment is that there's not much Kawaii pushing power whatsoever. I mean, that Void won't push. The Windrunner obviously just roaming around, not very much interested in farming up himself, which means there's not going to be the Focus Fire coming out. So pushing power is pretty much zero till, I don't know, they either get like a huge trade and capitalize on it, or they really, I don't know, group up. But that's not a good idea, not against the Overgrowth, not against the Ravage, which is coming out, not against much of a machine. So this Stream Protector pick might actually work out for SRT this time here, as in what we talked about in the draft, like Stream Protector, useless hero, hashtag question mark. When there's like, I don't know, when there's some sort of pushing potential, as in Mass Serpent Wards or Exorcism, I think he's pretty useless in this game. With pretty much no pusher on the other side, we might actually see a lot of towers being healed up. Like, for example, the mid tower would be a candidate that could use a heal pretty much soon.
Yeah, bottom lane as well. And with Anti-Mage doing mostly split push, as I think the game plan from Kawaii is mostly just going to be stall out and look for kills when they can. Android is going to get hit with a Chronosphere up on top, as well as a Fissure. The Plasma Field is there, and there goes the Witch Doctor. Dota stock, without mana to reincarnate, however, will live and just walk away. CY is going to try to interrupt the stack of Ancients, as Tinker as well as Yamakage are going to try to clear this one out. Power shot, they'll still off the Tidehunter. Reed is going to severely punish the SRT side. They're going to get this Ancient Golem, perhaps. Wind Ranger going for another Shackle onto Sunlight. Power shot is going to get a double kill.
Perfect.
So much greed from this SRT side, and CY might even take a Golem home as a trophy.
Yes.
There you go.
That is
Big
a double
kills
kill.
from this
A double kill and 111 gold right on top of it. Also space created, of course, for the Anti-Mage plus the Void, also getting some farm there. So at the moment, SRT, greed is bad, and this showed it, even though I can't blame the Tinker, because he was like, in the mid, this might actually be something. Yes, the power shot hitting an Eraser is getting the last hit here on that poor Train Protector, who had no chance to get away there. He didn't even have Nature's Guise, he's only level 4. But back to that topic, like the Tinker, he actually thought that the Windrunner is going back, because he was standing in March of the Machines, and he was like, he's going back, he's not, he's not coming. But he had a Clarity and a Salve still in his package, and therefore it was easy peasy, just using it, coming back, getting the double kill.
SRT, they're looking at the bottom lane. Anti-Mage is around and very, very weak, though. Killing him off is going to be a little bit difficult when Witch Doctor doesn't really have that much damage to put to him. Death Ward with a cask drop might do it, but for right now, they're just going to start chipping away at this tower, and We Just Sick is going to realize that the Ancients are once again warded. This time he'll clear it out a lot faster than last time, but Sunlight still 400 way from his travels. It's going to be, at this point, a pretty slow set of those boots. I mean, if he managed to clear the Ancient stack and then get away, he would have been, almost having it, like 100 gold away, if not already having it, but he slowed down just a little bit more, and that's just more time that Kawaii had to get some farm in the Anti-Mage. He's picked up Power Treads, not really the most impressive farm on him, but certainly a lot more than he had, at the 5-minute mark of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. The Tinker, he's gonna have it, like, unless he dies, but he's gonna have it here from a double point. But even there, as I said, I don't like the fact how he plays the Tinker, as in, like, the timing when to go to the mid camps. And now we also see living armor here on the tower in the mid. So yeah, they start to heal up the tower because it's getting a bit too dangerous what the Razor is doing there. He's trying to chip some HP away from that tower, like whenever he comes close, but not against the Train Protector. That's like, of course, the downside. The Razor Gun, though, he has to be careful in the mid because, yeah, there's a cascade, and he tries to deny it, but the Death Ward is doing a lot of damage now. It's all about... No, it's not about anything. The Tinker just too slow. But he got his BOT, so everything should be just fine right now. Oh, but bottom, yeah, we have to go. Nice block here on the Tidehunter, and he has to go the long way around, but there's a nice Blink Dagger here, and the Earthshaker still has Enchant Totem. The last hit should do the trick, and with even the living armor on the Tidehunter, even the anti-mage, they have to go back. There's no way they get through him, but at least they prevented the Ravage from happening, even though after the stick he has mana again for it.
Yeah, another great fissure from the Earthshaker, unfortunately just not enough damage, and Wraith King picking up an early game Blink. As I said before, Kawaii, their game plan is to stall this game out, get farm on their AM, Faceless Void, and Razor, who, by the way, has not gone for a mech, has gone for a super greedy item, especially considering their hero composition. Hand of Midas with an Anti-Mage, Faceless Void allies, it is really greedy, almost to the point where I could argue the fact that it's a mistake. Like, they're going to be pressured. That is almost a certainty. They need a mech, or they need something that'll help Razor fight. Hand of Midas' attack speed is not going to do it. In top lane, Supercell is going to be just fine.
Yep, they need to do that all the time. They need to drive out the Void and the Anti-Mage, because it's just a fact, like, a game is never lost until the Anti-Mage, like, called GG and tapped out. That's pretty much the fact. And so far he's doing quite okay. This is an offline Anti-Mage with 12 minutes, I don't know, PTs and a Ring of Health. That is good, but now there's a stun on him before he gets his Blink out, and now there is actually enough damage. The last hit of Dota Stalk just finished this, so just talking about good farm for offline there, but no, with this one, not so good.
Yeah, and saying it's good farm is, of course, generous based off of the scenario. Bottom lane, Ravage has already been committed. Chronosphere will be dropped, catching 3. However, there's literally no follow-up here. Sunlight will get hit with an Echo Slam. He'll try to run away with the heal from Android. He might make it out with the bottle charge as well. Still, the Anchor Smash is going to happen. 137 on the way out. Missiles will not kill him off. In the meantime, Razor will secure the kill on the Tinker and then the Witch Doctor. That's a double kill for the Razor. Looking down south where Young Okage is going to try to TP his way out. No vision for a Shackle Shot. Earthshaker tried to duel the Tidehunter. That's not what you want to have happen.
That Fissure
is a pretty scary hero.
That Fissure
going
even
to make an even trade there.
That Fissure even helping there the enemy. That is, yeah, that's too bad. He actually tried to stun the Tidehunter there, but in the end the creeps that he would usually follow, they now just stand still on the Fissure. That's the new Fissure after 6.81, and to be honest, like, this Fissure sucks. It really sucks.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. It doesn't really make any sense because everyone else is just, you know, going around it, and but I mean it's a new game mechanic as such, and so we have to get used to it. And I mean, I'm already used to it as such, but let's see. By the way, we have the Ancients again warded here. This is just hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
With the Tinker and a Tidehunter on the enemy side, it's really, really smart for Kawaii to keep doing this. I mean, Tidehunter with level 4 Anchor Smash, level 4 Kraken Shell, plus a Buckler, he's well on his way to his mech, and he could clear out Ancients, literally taking no damage in the process, so you got to deny that huge amount of farm. Sunlight can do the same thing. He's going to take a little bit more damage, Soul Ring, and a little bit of Dragon hits, something like that, but these types of heroes you need to shut down from using the Ancient Camp, and if Kawaii can continue doing this, then it'll really help in their efforts in stalling out the game. But they are going to need a lot more than that.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, the game is at 40 minutes. I'm having the first glimpse into the crafts, unless there's something happening on the map, which is not the case right now. Like, in experience, it's pretty much a nullified craft. It's ±0, nothing really. It's pretty much a roller coaster, just change with each and every fight and trade whatsoever. But when it comes to gold, well, SRT, they have like a 2k. Oh, but they found the tree here. And this is definitely a kill. Yes, the plasma field is just making sure of that. But of course, Chrono down and the Tinker coming in. They gotta be careful. There's the stun, and they might actually get a stun here on the Earthshaker. No, what's wrong with you, Dota Stock? Why you no stun? And now he's stuck. He's stuck, or at least for some seconds, by the creeps and the Shackle coming out. He's being slowed. New plasma field. Where is the stun? The casket is bouncing now between all those heroes, but it's just not enough. Not on a tier 1 tower. Just too dangerous.
That was an extremely awkward engagement, but
Yes.
Kawaii walked away with 1 kill and no deaths. Anti-Mage still happily farming on the top side, SRT, they have to make some kills happen, because they do have a late game Tinker and Wraith King, but going up against a late game Anti-Mage, a late game Faceless Void, and a Razor currently packing a Hand of Midas, they're not going to win that if it does come to a late game game.
Yep.
Blink forward from Dota stock though, gonna get stunned onto 137, Cass is gonna follow as will the missiles, instantly the Earthshaker's gonna go down, Ravage now, going to mostly hit only onto CY, the Death Ward will bring this hero down with the Overgrowth on top of it. In the back end, Sunlight's going to try to run away from this Faceless Void, stun on the Void, will not be in time to save the Tinker, but it will secure the kill for the team. Razor is going to get out of there alive. It's a 3-for-1 so far. SRT, I don't know what they're still doing. Just kill the tower. There you go. They take a couple kills home, and they're going to take this tower as well.
Yep, I mean, it is a better trade. I mean, they sacrifice the Tinker here, and they get the tower and free on top of it. But, and there's a big but, and I'm not talking about some woman. No, I'm talking about this anti-mage. This is the trade they have. This is the bad side of the trade. Like, yes, you got something achieved in the mid. Yes, you created some space, but all that while the anti-mage is somewhere farming, and that is, I don't know, join the dark side. Give this another 20 minutes, and we have a huge problem.
To be fair though, Anti-Mage still is very, very far away from being able to contribute anything from this game into this game. He has level 1 in the mana break, so tapping out the Wraith King's mana is going to be very, very hard to do. He doesn't have his Battle Fury, so his farm is very slow. I think SRT at this stage are not completely incorrect in ignoring the Anti-Mage for a little while longer. If they're getting trades like that, 3 kills and a tier 1 tower, they're going to be perfectly happy making that trade any day of the week. Eventually, they're going to have to start changing their focus to Anti-Mage, but as it stands right now, he's nowhere near his Battle Fury unless there's swords on the courier, which there are not. This guy needs a lot more space, and if Kawaii keep on dropping fights like that, then slowly their map control is going to lose out, and slowly their base is going to be put into more and more pressure.
Yeah, the biggest problem is when trades like this, like just in the mid, as we saw just in the mid, if they happen, then, I don't know, I think SRT, they can push within 2 or 3 minutes even into the next tower, or possibly getting it down, and the anti-mage, they can't really do anything against it. Now, we didn't see a stun or anything on the anti-mage here, or it was maybe disjointed by, yeah, it was Ray Fire Blast, but disjointed. Either way, he has to be careful. With a Blink Dagger, if he's just a second too slow on his Blink, then it's really getting dangerous. The Wraith King just locking him down, and then the Tinker maybe, for example, doing the damage. He only has 1 point here in the spell shield, so that helps him, of course, a bit, but it's not a, I don't know, not a lifesaver as such against the Tinker, because the Tinker is just way ahead.
They have the Chronosphere up on Faceless Void. It's not yet level 2. Eventually, Kawaii are going to want to start looking for these towers. However, CY up on top side might be a little trouble as Dota does jump in for a Wraithfire Blast. No crits just yet. The Wind Run plus a Shackle onto 2. Beautifully done. And the Overgrowth from the Treant as well. Fissure going to hit hard on Sunlight. Dota going to drop its only reincarnation. Sunlight's going to fall straight after 137. We'll get the Echo Slam off, though. Won't be doing too much with that. Another stun from the Wraith King. However, he's going to get brought down for a second time. Now Ouija going to try to get away, but the big pop from the Mana Void going to get themselves a double kill onto Jaylee's. 14 for 10, losing only the Earthshaker there. Initiating onto a Wind Ranger with maxed out Shackle Shot is always a little bit of a risky prospect. SRT give a huge boost of gold to Kawaii. That's going to give their Razor a Black King bar. Wind Ranger's going to pick up a mech, and Anti-Mage, even getting in on a little bit of the action as well, is going to complete one of the swords for his Battle Fury.
Yep, absolutely, and just see the craft right now. It's not even fully updated yet, but Kawaii is getting more and more experience. Like, the game is 20 minutes in, and also the gold. SRT had this 3-point-something advantage. Now they're down to 2k, but with Witch Dog, the Ravage coming out. Is there Time Walk? There we have it, the Death Ward. It hurts so much. This is the combination they want to. Unfortunately, this is only the second time we see this combo. I mean, if it comes out, it worked so far quite nicely, especially against the Void. But the problem is we see it too rarely this game.
And I would also like to point out, Witch Doctor is, well, farming a little bit less than last game. But still, he's going straight for that Aghanim Scepter. So
I mean, by now, last game, he had the Aghanim Scepter ready, working on the BKB. At 15 minutes was the Aghanim Scepter, or 14 minutes even, and the Casual Orca Club plus Arcane Boots and whatnot on top of it, finished Magic one. I think he has about 4k less net worth in comparison to the other game.
Only 272 GPM, what a scrub.
Yeah,
Pick
what
up
a
your game, Witch Doctor, come on.
Oh
Another
yeah.
initiation onto CY, Wraithfire Blast, and then just hitting Mech and Wind Run. It's hard to kill this Wind Ranger. Dota needs an MKB if he's going to be doing it solo, and that's a long ways off. He's sitting on 2,000 gold, just picked up a Hyperstone, so this Wraith King is going to slowly start to dish out some pretty serious damage. But they're farming up a Wraith King, they're farming up a Tinker, who is now going to be going for his Dagon after Blink Dagger. So these items, you know, there are legitimate items that SRT are going to be picking up, but still, the items are being brought just as fast by the Faceless Void, by the Anti-Mage, who is very, very close to his full Battle Fury, and then the Razor with the Hand of Midas still trucking away with that item. They're going to go for Roshan, the SRT side, and why it looks like they don't want to defend or are not capable of defending either way. It's going to be an easy, albeit slow, Aegis for the SRT side.
Yep, absolutely. By the way, I don't even agree with the choice of an MKB on a Wraith King, because all you have to do is either keep on chasing the Windrunner, because Windrun, after it's down, she's dying really fast, or you just get a stun, which is becoming quite handy against the other heroes as well, plus the fact that if you get it into Abyssal, you just Abyssal him whenever there's the Windrun coming up. So these are like two alternative options. The MKB, it kind of depends. Then later for the Anti-Mage, might be an option, of course, because he is maybe going for a Butterfly, but I mean, talking about Butterfly, we are like an hour away from a Butterfly coming out on that Anti-Mage, unless they feed him like a quintuple Rampage in the next 2 minutes.
That's the dream, right? The carry dream is real. He
Yep.
just picked up his Battle Fury 22 minutes in. If you were in a random pub game, you'd be really happy with your carry farming like this, but not in this one. Battle Fury this time is
floods.
super, super late, and almost to the point where I would question him picking it up. Like, it might be time to just say, or, I mean, it's too late now, but it might have been time to say, screw that, I'm not going to go for the Battle Fury, but Sunlight's going to be picked off. He's going to get Power Shot found out in the trees, Fissure plus Shackle Shot. He's going to get brought down very quickly. Well played by CY as well as 137 to find that Tinker hiding in the trees, but Dota going to jump right forward, again going for CY. It's a hard kill for a Wraith King to take, although not if the Wind Ranger does not pop off Wind Run. There you go, Mech and TP out. Everyone else will live on this lane. Dota once again will have his attempts at aggression denied.
Yeah. By the way, no, I think the Battle Fury is a good choice, because remember, this is an offline Anti-Mage. This is not a core. Like, the core who was farming is the Void. So in theory, like, all the Anti-Mage is doing at the moment is just, okay, the split pusher, just like a Nature's Prophet with a bit less utility tools, pretty much. But like, overall, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Like, the combination of those 4 heroes, they buy him time, Chronosphere here and there, some kills. Since SRT is making quite a lot of mistakes, they got even some kills on top of that, plus the team fights won. And the Anti-Mage is just keep on ticking up in gold, and it just works fine. He has a Basilisk stun, the Ring of Region, I already said it, after he was done with the Battle Fury, he's gonna go for the floods. Where also his team is gonna benefit from it. I mean, there's 4 people who directly benefit from it, but let's see. Now we just saw them meeting each other in the jungle and both like instant blink out.
That was super awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could kind of see your point in the fact that he just needs to be doing some split pushing. It'd also help him clear Ancients like he's doing right now. I would have said that it would have been an acceptable item pathing to say, screw the Battle Fury, we're going to go for Vlad's and a Manta style, something like that. Get more mana drain into the Wraith King. And then just try to fight a little bit earlier, but you know, with the way SRT are playing, they're kind of sitting back a little bit more than I would have expected. With the comp that they have versus the comp that Kawaii have, I would have expected them, or SRT, to be going full-on aggression all the time, just trying to deny farm to this Anti-Mage and Faceless Void, but that's not happening. They're getting a lot of farm for their Wraith King, yes, but eventually Anti-Mage is going to catch up, and he only has to hit a couple times for Wraith King to be completely tapped out of mana. And then once that happens, your Wraith King loses his ultimate. That's not something you want to have happen on any hero, let alone a Wraith King.
They can't shut down both. That's the biggest problem. Like, if you focus on the Anti-Mage, yes, you might get him here and there, but then the Void will just, I don't know, kill you on the other side. And now we have a nice go here. The Windrun is already through, but there's a Shackle, of course, standing there between the trees. Not a good idea, but he's still going down. That level 1 Dagon was already enough. Casket also made sure. Luckily, of course, for Kawaii, the rest already vanished out of the vicinity here. They didn't want to go for it, but everything else is still ready. Nothing was committed to this fight, so we have a decent team fight here on our hands, because Kawaii, I don't think they can defend this.
they can't, and really the anti-mage pushing up top isn't really threatening either. He'll be able to put some damage onto the tower, but with the Treant Protector in the game, I mean, the bottom lane tier 1, the mid lane tier 1, they're all but completely full on HP, so any damage this anti-mage is going to put on this tower is slowly going to be regenerated up by this Treant. And SRT, they're going to look to make an Alpha Strike in the Kawaii base. Let's see if they can make this happen. Earthshaker does not have a Blink Dagger, is pretty close to it, but Wraith King does still have 3 lives, so burning through this Wraith King is going to be very, very hard for the Kawaii side to do. They're going to throw out all their AoE, but still Dota stock as well as Young Okage. They're going to slowly chip down this tower, and Kawaii, they do not have a Treant Protector on their side. In the meantime, Supercell will take down a mid tier 1, but losing a tier 3 in exchange, that's not really worth it.
Yeah, but it's a start. It's all Kawaii can do at the moment. I mean, as Harass, like, I think 137 he should block better. Like, right now, maybe we're gonna see the Fissure. Yes, now we have a block on Fissure, so the creeps are actually getting butts. Oh, look, they jump in.
They instantly take down the Earthshaker. BKB gets popped by the Razor. Can't really do anything else. The Ravage, as well as the Death Ward from the low ground. There's the Death Ward value that we saw in last game. Dota stock looking to burn one of his 3 lives now, but Razor is not going to let him that luxury. He's going to die to a Fissure. So there's 1 life in the reincarnation. Does not have Aegis, but he only has a minute to burn that one. And, well, the tower has gone down. Android with level 3 Booty Restoration, plus the slow but sure damage on this Rax. They might be able to take this down, but a Shackle shot onto 2. Tinker's going to teleport right back in as Jails does get hit with the Maledict as well as the Overgrowth. There's the stun, going to bounce in between the 2 very, very important heroes for Kawaii. They're going to bring down the Razor first, and then focus their attention back on the Rax, because 137 is in the middle of everything, looking for an extra slam. He will finally unleash it, but it's not going to do anything. Supercell's back in this fight, already is Man Drain. Will take out the Witch Doctor. Fissure now onto everyone. Dota stock will lose his 2nd life right before the Aegis is reclaimed. Sunlight is back in this fight, however, has a Blink Dagger, Laser, and Missile done forward from Dota stock, and then once again go for CY. The mech will pop off, heal him as well as Jails by quite a bit. Anti-Mage can jump right back in for that Tidehunter. Dota stock trying to TP out, but he's going to lose his 3rd life. They take down the Wraith King so many times, and now Supercell jumping forward has a Yasha, so the movement speed in his favor. Blink out from the Tidehunter, but you can't escape an anti-mage unless he blinks the wrong way. SRT, they retreat, they take the tower, but they don't take the melee Raxes. Kawaii, they make a successful defense.
Yep, and that was actually that only, like, I say only with a very, like, ironic, sarcastic tone. 1 buyback. The Razor was actually the buyback. No, actually it was 2. Sorry, like the Earthshaker bought back as well. So 2 buybacks to defend the entire thing, but they got at least 3 kills. They got the Aegis off as well as the ultimate on the Wraith King. Not that he cares too much. It's a 160-second cooldown because he is, like, yeah, just some creeps away from level 16. Still, by the time he's gonna fight again, he's gonna have this ready. So I think Kawaii is, of course, in huge trouble right now. Oh, but look at it, jumping in, getting the Tinker. Tinker being super low, mana void, easy kill. This is 335 plus, plus Ancients. That was like a tasty little intermezzo for gold.
Now, at this point, 28 minutes into the game, if you're a Tinker, you do not expect your Ancients to be warded. But it was, and Anti-Mage knew that, jumping in for a mana void, and suddenly he was so poor just 10 minutes ago. He's now holding on to Vlad's. He's well on his way to his Manta style. I mean, his Faceless Void somehow isn't farming as well. I guess that's the Battle Fury difference. But yep. Anti-Mage is slowly starting to get much bigger. Oh, they missed the Gush, and they missed the Wraith Fire Blast? What? How do you miss 2 of those skills?
How did the Wraith Fire Blast miss anyway? Was it disjointed by the Time Warp?
No, they just both hit the same creep.
What? Okay, never mind. I don't even want to ask.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I'm not completely sure, but it looked like it. Like, a creep was there and then it just wasn't.
Okay, never mind. So I'm glad I didn't catch it on camera, but apparently, yeah. Either way, they make a new run for the Rax, and there we go. No back to protection, no cliff available. The Fissure again too late, not blocking him in. Or block him out rather, and now we have to see if there's any defense at the moment. The Anti-Mage is trying to split push, but let's see. In the background, there's the
Chronosphere going to catch 2. Ravage is going to catch Jails in the meantime. He has his BKB, will immediately pop it off. Sunlight was focused by June, but he will not be able to kill him off. Android will get stunned up, so the Death Ward channel will be cancelled. Jails trying to back off, and the Tidehunter still on the front lines. In the meantime, only the Faceless Void has gone down. SRT this time with only 1 life on the Wraith King. They're going to jump forward once again for CY. However, beautiful Shackle, and the Anti-Mage is going to go to town with his illusions on the Wraith King. Wraith King now completely tapped out of mana, only has his 1 life. The melee Raxes, though, slowly, steadily dropping. Kawaii need more to defend this, but they're going to lose the Raxes. Oh, the Echo Slam! The Blink was cancelled, going into the March of Machines. Beautiful Shackle shot regardless, and a 3-man Mana Void will kill off the Wraith King. Android getting blinked upon, and the Living Armor will just barely save him a little bit more time, but I don't think he's going to get out of here alive. Power shot once again. A Supercell going to jump forward. Android shackled for a second time. Kage this time is going to try to blink out, and will blink forward for 137 with a fissure to hit. Another power shot, but Kage is going to shrug most of that damage off. Well, they're just going to keep going for it. Supercell is looking for some damage onto this Tidehunter, but double Nature's Guise. Everyone else is going to get away. However, they're going to go once again onto CY. Why do they keep going for this Wind Ranger? Because Tinker's here with the combo. Get a kill off the Wind Ranger immediately. 137 is going to get slammed by that Anchor. Now an Overgrowth onto 2. Supercell will debuff that with the Manta Style. Now try to go to town onto Ouija Stick, but still, they have no True Sight. Where is their True Sight? Please tell me someone in this team has True Sight, but no one does.
Nope.
SRT, they lose a little bit on the way out, a little bit of over-aggression at the very end. But they take melee Raxes, and that's exactly what they wanted.
I don't know. This was such a fall from back, like chasing in the jungle, then saying like, oh look, there's a Dream Protector. Like they go invisible. Like nobody expected that. Nobody had vision whatsoever. Detection, not even on the Windrunner. No, all the detection was on the Earthshaker, but he died before, which was kind of stupid because I don't know. He was one of the guys chasing, so he knew there might actually be, like, if I die right now, before I die, I should use the dust since I'm the only one on the team. But to be honest, the last 3 plays we saw from the Earthshaker, all 3 of them were kind of questionable. I mean, you saw the first time, like, he didn't notice that, like, oh, the enemy is coming, and he doesn't go for the blocking fissure for the base. Second thing is, he's getting tapped by the say it, March of Machines, and blows his top. You have to stun here on the Anti-Mage, but he should be just fine. Or he's
going to turn this one around.
He's
going to get overgrown, and so the Wraith King trying to go to town on this Anti-Mage. We'll get a lucky bash and a crit, but Anti-Mage still very much so alive. Wraith King not with enough mana to stun. And no, oh wait, somehow he does get enough mana with the Soul Ring. Supercell's going to jump away one last time.
But it admits the Chrono.
Meantime, middle lane. Chronosphere onto Android. He will be focused down pretty quickly, but the Death Ward is going to get dropped. Will do some pretty heavy damage to that Faceless Void. The Shackle won't land on Kage. They use the Echo Slam for this as well. This is a piped Tidehunter. It's going to be very hard to kill him off, especially when your power shot misses. Another Fissure will fly, slow him down. The bashes from June not coming out just yet, but the Razor with the Eye of the Storm will secure that kill. They take 2 in the middle lane, use the Chronosphere for it, force out the Ravage. I think Kawaii are going to be okay with that exchange.
This time the play of the Earthshaker was good, but as I said, in that bottom fight, like, huge responsibility there goes to the Earthshaker. Like, no blocking fissure, like, the Echo Slam just into pure air, no hero, no unit whatsoever hit. And then, I don't know, also on his chase, he was the only one with vision. We already had that topic, like, no detection, he's the only carrier, didn't pop, like, a sentry, or didn't use the dust just shortly before he goes down. So I think these 3 mistakes in a row made that entire bottom fight so awkward. Like, I think they had a good chance of, I don't know, coming back, maybe even that much that they get the tier 1 tower bottom or something like that. But this forever chase plus turnaround, this kept SRT pretty much in the game.
Yeah, Kawaii, they did lose their Raxes, but I think with an Anti-Mage having Manta-style Battle Fury against a Wraith King, you're still not completely out of it if you're Kawaii, because they still have a Chronosphere. You can never count a Chronosphere out, especially when you have a Razor who is doing some pretty heavy damage with that Aghanims. He's sitting on 2,600 gold, has another Hanamitis proc in just a little while. This Razor's level 20, has only died once. So between Razor doing very well, only dying once, and Supercell only dying once on top of that, the pressure onto the bottom lane is going to be annoying, but it's definitely not going to be a huge debilitating factor moving forward in this game. They still can put up a fight, especially if SRT lose a couple heroes in exchange for, you know, going on a wild goose chase after an Anti-Mage.
Yep, absolutely. And we have to look at the crafts. We're just going to use the pause. Like, it's going towards the 10k mark pretty much soon for Kawaii. But experience is not everything, especially if your base is already down 1 set of racks. And SRT, I don't know, like, they could probably go for more, Like, I mean, the fight was relatively good for them, plus the turnaround. They didn't have to pay too much for it. They also have, like, the Roshan timer at the moment on their side, which means they could go right now into Roshan, even though there are the Manta illusions of anti-mage, just scouting it out. And when it comes to gold, it's like, okay, the pause sign is a bit over it, but we are approximately at 2k or something for SRT, and this is not much, to be honest. Like, they lost a lot of gold, and that all for the sake of just getting those this set of racks. Plus, the mid and the top, they're still protected by a tier 2. So they have to get through quite a lot, considering the circumstances. And we said it so many times, there is an anti-mage on the pitch, and he gets more and more time. I said if this game goes to minute 40, I give Kawaii the win. At the moment we are at minute 34. Kawaii not as good as I thought, because I actually, when I said it at a draft, I thought he's gonna be in the safe lane, and not on the offlane. But that offlane kinda screwed me over with my prediction. So it's, let's say, 45-50 minutes at some point where SRT really has problems.
I mean, the Tinker is pretty big. He's gonna use the Ethereal Dagon 3 combination, almost insta-gib that anti-mage. So Tinker's been finding a good amount of farm in the meantime, and you know, the Witch Doctor does have his BKB plus Aghanim Scepter. That's a fresh BKB, has not been used just yet. And if he gets a good channel off, then suddenly the SRT team could evaporate Kawaii in the matter of seconds, especially with the Ravage and Overgrowth combo that they have used a couple of times. But again, they'll have to fight through a Chronosphere, they'll have to deal with a Mana Void interrupting through BKB. They'll have an Aegis, so maybe they're going to go for round 3 on the bottom lane, try to take the very easy set of range barracks, or just go for a mid or top tier 2 tower. But, I mean, last time they pushed with only 1 life in Wraith King, and it was a lot better than when he had 3, so this might be a bad decision for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as I said, the Roshan is going down here, 34 minutes. This is Roshan number 2, if I'm not mistaken. There's no cheese involved yet. And let's see. I mean, we have Kawaii the first time actually going out of their base, but it seems like they want to use that anti-mage as a bait. Problem is there is no tier 2 tower defend, but still, SRT is heading towards them. The only thing I really dislike about it is, of course, the one with the Chrono. He's not there. And now top.
Throw the Cask and the Maledict. Gonna land onto the Razor. Android, though, gonna get his damage drained out. Pretty vulnerable. There's the Overgrowth plus the Ravage. Needs that Death Ward. 37 is gonna jump forward for an Echo Slam onto Sunlight, but it will do literally no damage. The pipe does proc off. Sunlight is going to be focused down. The Death Ward will be channeled, though everyone will escape their range. 137 will go down in the meantime. It's a 2-for-1 so far. Teal is on his way out. CY trying to escape. It will be successful in doing so. And, well, it's only a 2-for-1. Would have expected a lot more kills to happen, but in the end, not much blood is spilled.
Yeah, not much. A 2-for-1 trade, but a bad one, obviously, because the Razor didn't just die and is out for like 90 seconds. He also used his BKB just some seconds before he died, and then desperate mech. Problem is that the Death Ward, it doesn't care if you have a BKB or what tier you are, as long as you're in range, it does tons of damage.
And actually, we're going to be seeing an interesting interaction where Anti-Mage's illusions usually do a lot of damage, or at the very least do a lot of mana burning. Against Witch Doctor, those illusions don't last long at all. I mean, he has the Aghanims. They're going to break the illusions pretty quickly. It's going to be a tier 2 for tier 2 attempts. Supercell probably should be able to secure this one by his lonesome Dota stock. The same thing. So more even tower trades, but bottom lane still in full breach, as Kawaii have to respect the fact that they have lost their melee racks on the bottom side.
Yep. No, but seriously, like, those illusions they're actually helping when you have Aghanim Scepter, because it bounces through those, which means sometimes this is the bridge between, yeah, the illusion and the next hero.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, though. Usually they're not too spread out. It may or may not come into play, and it'll be hard to see, but looks like SRT, they're going to be going for a top lane push now. They have no Ravage. They do have a pipe, but I don't think they want to fight with no Ravage, knowing that Chronosphere is up on the other end, so they're going to have to back out for just another 40 seconds and wait for their next opportunity. In the meantime, Tinker is going to start working towards a maxed out Dagon. He does not have a buyback if he does go down, so that'll be a huge kill if Kawaii somehow manages to snag that Tinker.
Yep, absolutely, and this is just a standoff. They know that SRT wants to, and now with the top lane losing their tier 2, I also like the emphasis that SRT does. Like, they focus on the side lanes, because they are so much harder to defend. Like mid lane is the easiest Rex to lose, as in like you don't have to care that much. Side Rex, they really matter.
Another fissure will fly as the pipe is going to be deployed. The fissure is going to confuse the Tidehunter a little bit, but Dota Stock is going to jump right in. He's going to get hit with the failed shackle. Has the living armor, so he's taking no damage from the tower just yet. Marksman Machines as the anti-mage does jump in with the BKB active, and Kawaii is going to land a two-man Chronos here. Will instantly start to focus on that Witch Doctor in the sidelines. The fissure will secure him, but he's invisible. Still, they have no vision. Where's your vision, guys? He's going to start channeling Death Ward, but a two-man Echo Slam as Sunlight trapped in the corner is also going to go down. The Wraith King going to lose his secondary life. He's going to come back one more time, but I don't think he's going to be escaping this one. Although BKB and run away, yeah, that's not going to do it. He's going to get bashed up. That's 3 kills with 2 going the way of the Anti-Mage, and the tower barely takes any damage from that. The ping is out. Kawaii are going to crack back on the mid lane. They're going to crack back hard.
Yeah, that really hurts. This is 3 down plus H's plus Wraith King ultimate. So in summary, they pretty much killed 5 heroes. But let's see. I mean, there should be still buybacks. Let's have a look. Who is having all the buyback?
Wraith King doesn't have.
Yeah.
Nor does Tinker. This is gonna be huge. I mean, Witch Doctor can buy back. He won't have his Death Ward though.
Even Tide right
there
now.
is only a Ravage on Tidehunter. They don't have enough damage to force the Kawaii side back if Kawaii really do make a concentrated effort in going for this tower. And with an Aghanim's Razor ultimate, this tower and the at least one set of racks is gonna go down before Tinker does respawn.
Absolutely, in a Tidehunter, if he dies, for example, in the next fight, he also has no BKB, no BKB I say, he has no BKB, might actually die, silent stun, whatsoever, or even just being leeched out of mana or Chronosphere. If that happens, like, he also doesn't have any buyback, and that's of course bad news. But Kawaii, they want to use the gold first, and yeah, Anti-Mage already working on it with the Manta. He's just chipping away that tower, and now even doing some tower damage on tier 2 pretty much soon. Or actually, this time they might actually be able to stop him. But still, he's taking just more and more momentum. We are 40 minutes in, and I predicted at 40 minutes that Kawaii is gonna like take over the game, and I think I'm right, unless they really have a huge pickoff, which is crucial without, for example, a buyback or anything similar.
Yeah, Anti-Mage is getting now frighteningly huge. He has the Black King bar as well as Manta Style, so the Treant Protector Overgrowth and any other stun that's going to be thrown his way, not going to be latching for very long. He's sitting on 5,000 gold. The Courier was at the secret shop for a little bit, thinking it might have been a butterfly pickup or a heart or something like that, probably a heart. But he's getting really big, and SRT, they're slowly running out of answers. The Witch Doctor ward is level 3, which is great, but everything needs to line up perfectly. That means Ravage, Overgrowth with Death Ward, with Wraith King on the front end, in order to take a really bursty fight and try to bring down the Anti-Mage before he could really get going.
Oh, but they want the Anti-Mage. They know he was top, and they know the usual rotation of an Anti-Mage is like if he doesn't want to cross too far about or like around the river line, yeah, he has to go back. But look at this ward, like this ward here top, it just made it possible. It actually saw 1 or 2 of this gank chain. Oh, actually no, wait, they were smoked up. Or did he see the Witch Dog? Or is it maybe just the fact that everybody's missing off the map? Like either
I
or.
think he just, yeah, I think
whatever
just
it
everyone's
is.
missing.
Yeah, I guess it's. I mean, he had to see the Witch Dog because Witch Dog wasn't smoked up, and he has even another smoke. But that's. Oh my God! What are they doing? They just committed a Ravage, Maledict, cast, stun, and even the Tinker playing with it for an illusion. So now, this is Ravage down. This might actually Kawaii's chance to go for something. More split push, direct fight.
They should have known instantly that that was an illusion. It wasn't cleaving if they were really paying attention. Also, it was taking a lot of damage, so there's also that. But yeah, a huge cooldown alone from the SRT side, and well, another Anti-Mage is going to get stunned. This time, it's going to force out the Mjolnir static charge. Not a huge deal, but the rest of the Kawaii side, they're going to barrel down the mid lane. Time for round 2, as the Razor now with the Refresher Orb is going to zap down some buildings. You will know that there's no Ravage on the other end. There is still a Death Ward, there is still Overgrowth. But with no Ravage on the field, you don't have to be that scared if you're a Razor, especially since you have a BKB up.
Yep, absolutely. And well, let's see where this goes. Like, Roshan is still quite a bit away from respawning. We don't have any information yet how long it's gonna take, if it's a full time or like just the minimum. But let's see, because that next Roshan, I have the feeling that the next Roshan might actually be game deciding or giving us at least a new direction. If Kawaii can secure it, then they can go for their typical aggressive style even a bit more. And if SRT gets the Aegis, Roshan, inclusively all with the goal and whatnot, but let's see. It's definitely interesting, and yeah, Dream Protector at the moment scouting out. He pretty much knows what's going on.
Oh, they're gonna find a courier. Free double damage kill there. The dust finally does get popped out, so no invisibility this time. We just think is revealed, but the BKB is already up with the refresher orb on Razor. He's gonna do a lot of damage to Sunlight, trapped in the Chronosphere, as is Android. They're both gonna die before anyone else. Supercell's thinking of a jump forward. He's going to both dodge stun and go for Hokage. Dota Stock BKB is forced to run. He has a lot of mana, so he will respawn after this one. If he does go down, he's trapped from the fissure. Once again, pretty good from this Earthshaker. Dota Stock will get force zapped up to the high ground by the Treant Protector. Treant is revealed by something. He's getting stunned, but he's gonna be fine. That's 2 free kills plus a free tier 2 tower.
Yeah.
And Kawaii, they don't lose a single thing.
Maybe even more. The Tinker has no buyback. Nope, Tinker no buyback. Witch Dog, no buyback. That is a 3 versus 5 defend at the moment. Cliff is being out, and Overgrowth would be ready 15 seconds, but all the other ultimates, they're also too long. Ravage is now ready, but still, I think they have to use the Ravage here if they really want to prevent these racks from getting down. But no,
This is going to be an even lane now that the Araxes have been taken a little bit of favor for Kawaii. They've taken a full set, but everyone's going to back off. I'm pretty sure they're just going to wait for the next Razor refresher. That demolished that Tinker. Like, he got caught in the Chronosphere, could literally do nothing except get struck by lightning constantly. An Anti-Mage with the Basher can complete a full Abyssal Blade after that one, and then he's sitting pretty at 5,200 gold, almost 6 slotted. He could sell the Vlads and go for something else. But yeah, this guy is now going to be by far the most terrifying hero on the map, and well, Razor's not too far behind. He's at 5,500 gold himself.
Yep, absolutely true. And well, let's see. They're starting Roshan. There is the Void though, and he's invisible. Oh my god, invisible Void. He should see them all. He's buying a Demon Edge because he knows he still has enough buyback, but Void trying.
Please tell me they're not
trying.
going to miss this Roshan again.
I would so get in there and kill that Roshan.
I would make sure that they're in there. At least look, you're invisible, but okay. Kawaii are once again going to miss the Roshan scout, and that's going to be a free Aegis cheese going the way of SRT. This is their chance to take potentially a set of Raxes.
Yep, with the Wraith King now equipped with the Aegis again. Like, I'm kinda sick of seeing the Wraith King just, I don't know, getting reborn all the time. His ultimate with the Aegis, etc., and it's as crazy as it is alone without an Aegis on the Wraith King, because even at 60 seconds, like, I've seen fights where the ultimate actually got a second time ready because the fight was longer than a minute, and it's just nuts. A bit forth and back, once dying, then getting out, and Wraith King, I don't know, 60 seconds, that's 2 creep wave spawns, which you have to wait out till your ultimate is ready again, and that's the crazy part. But now we have a smoke here on Kawaii's side.
Oh, they're going to potentially run into the Tidehunter, although it looks like they're just going to run north, try to rejoin with their Anti-Mage. Tidehunter does have a refresher. If they can make him blow a Ravage for a 4 fight, that'll be fantastic. Chronosphere is going to be dropped only onto Android. They will definitely kill him off, however, Jails will get lashed down to the form. Will pop up the BKB, and with his 2 ultimates up, he's going to take down 1. The Protector's down. Ravage now, number 1, and Ravage number 2 follow shortly after, but Kawaii is still very much so alive. June going to turn and fight. The Echo Slam going to be doing a lot of damage. Tidehunter's going to go down and disconnect. Dota Stock is going to lose his 2nd life, and I think this is going to be the 3rd. In the meantime, Anti-Mage has taken mid-Raxes, is going to secure the top lane of Raxes as well.
There's the GG.
Finally, a GG has been called, but it looks like SRT, they already knew that this game was over, as some people tapping out a little bit early.
The Anti-Mage didn't even give a damn about that fight. Like, he was instantly just going mid for the Rax, killed the Tinker there solo, and that's it. So yeah, guys, that was game number 2 here. In the end, it's a 1-1. 1 goes to Kawaii, 1 goes to SRT. So sorry, my prediction was a bit off. I said about 60-40 for Kawaii, so for a 2-0. But in the end, it's a 1-1. That can happen, of course. It's a 2-game series, guys. So that's it for today. My name is HeflaTV. With me was Michael Loris. If you always want news, what's going on HeflaTV, then of course join our Facebook and Twitter. If you like what we do here, of course we need the follow button pressed, please, because there you get the notification that we are going online. So if you want to see some nice casts and of course good Dota, then yeah, that's the way to go. And of course, you missed a game, you want to see your team twice, you want to analyze it or want to just hear the cast again because Michael Lors has such a sexy voice, then go on our YouTube. The Moobot is gonna give you all the details, and that's pretty much it. For me, it's already late and I'm super tired, so sorry today not the best cast for me, but Michael Lors, he's coming back with Grandis at 3 AM CET, also here on HeflaTV 1. And that's pretty much it. That is in approximately 5 hours. Another JDL game, so Hefla is gonna be sleeping at that point, I guess. Or maybe I'm gonna hang somewhere in the chat. Either way, guys, see ya soon.
Later, guys.